let's all go and read them comics. Hey guys, LaserDude99 here again. Okay, I've done a previous video on X-Men Evolution. Click on the link here if I'm not too lazy enough to put one there. Yeah, but okay. I said that it was an alright show, worth taking a look if you were bored and there was no other, and you watched all the other shows. Somebody, I don't know who, I forget who, somebody told me the first two seasons were bad, but the third and fourth were good. I'm like, I didn't even know they made a third and fourth season. So, I thought, why don't I check it out? See if this guy says it's true, if he's just a raving fanboy that grew up with the show. Well, I must say, after seeing a lot more episodes of the show, I actually really like it. It's not a perfect show by far. Definitely not. There are plenty of times in the first season where, in the first couple of seasons, where things don't add up. Like, here, I'll show you some examples. Take this shot here. It's just a normal shot with everyone sitting in Scott's car. However, how about here? See any problems? Well, you shouldn't in this shot, but you should probably see it now. In this shot, there are 4 seats, and in this one, there's only 2. It seems like this show switches back and forth throughout the entire season for whatever fits the situation. When there's only 2 people in the car, it's a 2-seater car. When there's 4 or 3 people in the car, it's a 4-seater car. It makes no sense. If he has one type of car, that's the type of car you should have. See, sometimes things aren't consistent throughout. However, that's just one problem. This show, when it gets into the 3rd season, it really picks up when Magneto basically blows everyone's cover and says, "Hey, mutants, we're here. Deal with us." And so it gets more interesting when they have to go to school and everyone knows they're mutants. It's cool because, you know, there's some kids, of course, like, freaks, and then there's this one scene where one of the kids is like, he wants to become friends with one of the mutants, but only because he wants him to fend off some of the bullies that's picking on him, sort of thing. As the season goes on, the characters get more developed, and they're put in more interesting situations. Cyclops, my favorite X-Men, he actually has a lot of stuff in it. That's why I'm really liking the show more than I did before. He has a lot of... There's this one episode, where, Mystique kidnaps Cyclops, puts him in, like, the middle of the desert, and takes away his visor. So if he opens his eyes to look around, he could, like, destroy everything he sees. It's a really cool episode because he's, like, he doesn't want to destroy anything, but he has to open his eyes every now and then to see that he's not going to walk over a cliff. And there's a really cool fight scene in that, when he and Mystique finally go at it. Apocalypse. The 4th season is about Apocalypse. It was good. In fact, the way they end up defeating him is actually pretty smart. I didn't think of it. I'm thinking, okay, they made Apocalypse this humongous, unstoppable being. How the heck are they gonna stop him? I hope it. Yeah, this was gonna think was happening. All the X-Men and all the Brotherhood are get together and they all go in a giant fist fight sort of thing, and he falls down. But no, what they do is smart, and I didn't think of it, and it actually surprised me. Before I said that there was no real special voice acting in this show. I like to change that now. There are 2 really good voice actors in this show. The first one is one of the main characters. He's a villain, Avalanche. The guy who does Avalanche does a really good job. They do a lot of stuff with Avalanche, and yeah, the guy who voices him does a good job of this guy who he's just a teenager, but he goes through all this stuff, and you know, he's the punk. No, not punk. He's just the outsider kid, you know, the one that no one would really talk to, but he'd talk to you anyway. Yeah, Avalanche. The guy who voices Avalanche does a good job, and there's one more who actually was really good, but she was only in 2 episodes. There's an episode where Wolverine is cloned, but for some reason the clone's a girl, and the episode is she breaks into the X-Mansion and kind of takes everybody out with this chip on her head. But the girl who voices her does an amazing job. I was actually really blown away how much emotion she put into all of her acting and the words and stuff. She's only in there twice, and I'm like, whoa. Well, I put her on the team because the girl who did the voice for it was phenomenal. Actually, the guy who does Cyclops is pretty good. They do a lot of good things with Rogue. I used to think Rogue was only as powerful as the person she was fighting. But they do a lot of interesting things with Rogue, and she's more of the goth girl in this, which is fine, I guess. I don't think she's really viewed that way. She's the most outsider on the team, but anyway. So I have to change my my thoughts on X-Men Evolution. Watch it. Definitely watch it. It's I'm recommending it fully this time. Not just watch it if you feel like it. If you can bear the first I'm not saying the first 2 seasons are bad, but there are really bad episodes in them. So just bear with the first seasons, and once you get to the 3rd and 4th season, I'm thinking you're going to be surprised, because they're actually really well done. Really thought out, plot was well devised, and it didn't feel rushed. It wasn't like, come on, let's get Scott and Jean together, let's do it right now, come on. But anyway, yeah, just trying to think, there was something else I was gonna say. I still don't like the guy who does Wolverine, but I guess I got used to it. You know, he still didn't really click with me, but I got used to it, so it didn't bother me. What else? I was just thinking a little while ago, there are only a few X-Men stories you can do. You can X-Men go against Magneto, X-Men go against Apocalypse, X-Men go against Sentinels, Wolverine's Weapon X story, and the Phoenix. Those are the 5 stories that are basically told in every X-Men era. You have to include Weapon X, the Phoenix, Apocalypse, Magneto, and the Sentinels at some time. I think it would be better if X-Men TV shows didn't rely so much on the comic books. Create some new stuff. Put up some scenarios where it's not Apocalypse, the Phoenix, or anything like that. Like, for Wolverine and the X-Men, its first season, it focused on Magneto, the Sentinels, Weapon X, and the Phoenix. They've already used up 4 of their storylines, and the second season's all about Apocalypse. So once those are done, what are you gonna do now? I think, yeah, you need to try something new. Try something lesser known from the comics, like the Hellfire Club, or Alpha Flight, or I don't know. But that's enough about that. Yeah, X-Men Evolution. I'm not gonna say where I'd rate it because I'm thinking of doing a top 10 superhero cartoon list. So I'm not gonna rate it on where I would say it is in the list. But I think it's one of those shows where it starts off and fans from the comics watch it, even though it starts off a little bad, and then they're like, okay, we gotta learn from our mistakes and fix it.